right, welcome everybody. Hello there. How you guys doing? It's going to be an interesting show today. I'm going to talk about Tim Pool. I know I'm moving on with my life. I saw Montana Horseman say, why is everyone talking about Tim? And then, of course, I go ahead and start talking about Tim. I think it's fitting, though, because he's getting attacked, and it's ridiculous. And, I gotta defend my boy Tim because it's ridiculous. The things that they're saying about him are absolutely ridiculous. I, it's an insanely long article from the Daily Beast. For those who are asking, a lot of people are wondering in chat what's going on. Who's DB? It's the Daily Beast. So they wrote a hit piece on Tim Pool, and it is ridiculous. It is so thoroughly researched, but it's the entire thing. They do what most mainstream media people do, where they take things out of context, they slap a label on it, and just people don't end up reading the entire article, and they just take it at face value. And then you read the context and you look into what's actually happening, and it's ridiculous. And that's what got me to like Trump last year, because I was watching the media twist things, and I was like, why are they twisting things? I know the truth. I saw him speak. I saw the actual policies that he went through, and then the media's saying these lies. All right, so I mean, I can't stand it. I had to do a segment on Tim. I gotta defend him because it's ridiculous, and you're gonna see it. And then it's not only the Daily Beast. The Young Turks actually did. They had the writer who wrote this ridiculous article on their show, basically to bash Tim Pool. Now they clearly can't stand him. Obviously, I think they're jealous of his numbers. You know what? We're gonna get into it because I mean, you'll see it. It's a long article, and I'm not gonna go through every part of it because it is quite long. It goes over Tim's entire career, starting back before Occupy Wall Street, which is kind of how he became known on the scene. But man, does this person go nuts? And really, it's actually very well researched. It's got a lot of facts in it, but it's like they lay the groundwork for the facts, but then like the housing is all sideways and skewed, and the walls are put in wrong, and there's no roof, and I mean, you'll get into it. I'm gonna break it down. I mean, there is truths in there. I mean, it's not 100% BS, but wow, the parts that they get wrong are trying to basically vilify Tim, which, I mean, I've known Tim personally. I've lived with him multiple times throughout his career. Like when he was, you know what? I'll save it because I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to break it down as I run through the article. All right. So before I do, thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you don't know, I'm in my new house up in what's going to be my studio for now. I'm actually building outside a new studio just for me to have like my own spot. It's going to be great. Really excited about that. But just please go follow me over on Odyssey, just in case something happens on YouTube. I have gotten a couple strikes for talking about things that I feel were important to talk about. I take the risk, and I probably will again. But please follow me over there. Also follow my Instagram. We got this new art piece from Wanderer. Check this out. This is Travel to the Stars with Crigler Coffee. I love it. There's me, which I kind of look like a Jedi with a official Crigler Coffee mug with an alien chilling in it. I don't drink my coffee with aliens in it. I'm just saying. And then, of course, you could check out Crigler Coffee if you would like, because it's delicious. Got to do it. And you know what? Before I start, I saw, and I want to give a shout out to Tamira Mensah Stock. All right, she won gold in Tokyo for wrestling. Now, I talked about the women's soccer team basically losing their chance at gold yesterday. And there's this whole thing about how people are mad that we're not rooting for like I say we because I'm one of those Americans that isn't bummed that they're not going to get gold because they're disgraceful to me. They're disrespecting America, and it's like I'm not going to root for you if you're not even respecting the country that you're representing on a world stage. Okay? But this woman, she is awesome. Check this girl out. She is amazing, all right? Just listen to this woman speak here. I'm going to go full. That energy that she carries, she is so proud to represent the country that she loves. I mean, that's the athlete that we want to root for. Who's happy, who's a real patriot to represent the country that she loves. Like, it's amazing. I love seeing that. So I've never heard of her before. I don't watch the Olympics. I said this yesterday when I was talking about the women's team. Like, I don't even watch the Olympics. I'm too busy. Like, I'm in my garden, plotting all sorts of good food to grow and stuff. I'm hyped. I'm in my own house. I'm like, for the first time in my life. So I'm so excited to see though that this still exists. That there's American athletes that are out there competing, winning, and still loving America. Like, because there's nothing wrong with loving the country that you live in. It's like you're representing America on the world stage. You should be happy to represent them, or don't do it. All right, don't do it. All right, that wasn't. I didn't really want to do a segment on that. I just wanted to give her a shout out because that's awesome. You love to see it. All right, let us talk about Tim Pool. All right, so I don't really talk about Tim much. For those who watch my show, you know that sometimes he'll come up in conversations and whatnot. And obviously, I'm saddened by what happened between us last August when I was no longer on the Timcast show. In fact, it has almost been a full year. In 9 days, it'll be a full year since I was fired from the show. I think it was a shame. I didn't want to stop doing the show. I thought we had something great going on. Obviously, there's things that haven't been shared in the public eye. And regardless, I move forward in my life because that's the only option I have. I don't hold grudges. I don't, when you're seeing, when I talk about it, it's sadness. I'm saddened by what happened and what happened between us. We'll leave it at that. All right. But when I read this, when I saw this floating around, first someone showed me a video from the quartering. All right. Jeremy did a video on this, basically talking about it. And, he really didn't get into the details of it. And I was like, I got to read this article because, and here it is. This is the article that it is. Ready? How coward and phony Tim Pool became one of the biggest political YouTubers on the planet. Okay. Ridiculous. Okay. Tim Pool, say what you will about him. He works very hard to be accurate on his reporting and be consistent with his reporting. And he's very good at his job. There's no denying that. All right. These people are, all I can see is jealousy from these people, but they take it a step further. Okay. And I've lived with Tim. We tried to do a show 5 years ago, in fact, when he was working for Fusion, and they actually talk about this because this is basically a full timeline of Tim's career over the past 12 years, starting before Occupy Wall Street. And I actually met him 7 years ago, maybe 8 years. No, I think 7 years ago. He was working for Vice News when I met him, basically at the tail end of working for Vice. So I kind of got some inside look at how he was and listening to him complain about what he was dealing with in those companies. And I say companies because it wasn't just Vice. He then got a job over at Fusion, down in Miami, and he moved down to Miami, and in fact, I moved down to Miami as well to try to do a show with him. We were supposed to do a Timcast IRL long ago, and I moved to Miami to try to do exactly that. Now, we, and you know what? I'm gonna save that part of the story for when I get to that part of the story in this article, because it kind of, I have a viewpoint on his life during that time, and they talk about it and they just get it so wrong. And because I mean, I lived it, I was there, I was there in the Fusion office, like in Miami. We went down there and we met with the CEO to try, and he was like, I saw directly what Tim was dealing with at Fusion. Okay, now this article is just riddled with, someone close to the situation says, and a source, unnamed source that we have. And it's like, get out of here with that. I am a source. I lived with him. I was his roommate multiple times. Okay, I just moved out of his house. I've been living with him for over a year and a half now. Like, look, I know Tim Pool probably more than most of the internet. Okay, and this article is insulting to people's intelligence. This guy, I mean, don't get me wrong, he did a good job of researching Tim's life, all right? But they just skew so much. Look at the way they started. A former darling of Occupy Wall Street, Tim Pool, has racked up more than 1 billion views and millions in earnings while dangerously whitewashing the far right. Oh, gosh, the start of that. Jealousy, and then fear-mongering. All right? That's all I see right off the bat. It's like, come on. It can't be that bad. And you know what? It's not. It's ridiculous. So they first start talking about how Tim knew about what was going on January 6th. Okay? You know what they're going to do? Or he says here, of all the ideological enemies, Pool rails against YouTube for an audience of millions a day. Few stack up to the mainstream press. In his mind, coverage of then President Donald Trump's instigations and the mounting threats was yet another example of media's depravity, he said. And you know what? He was right. Tim was right, okay? The media did blow it up, and they're still blowing it up. They're trying to convince people that it was worse than 9/11. Nay, they have convinced people that it's worse than 9/11, which is insanity. All right, I remember watching those planes on the news smash into those buildings. All right, there was TVs in all of my high school rooms. I was in high school at the time. All right, and they were playing it on all the TVs. Like, this is going on right now, and I was watching it live when the next plane hit. Like, I remember that. Thousands of people died because of that. It's insulting that these people even have the words 9/11 on their mouths when they're talking about January 6th. Because I was there on January 6th, and it wasn't that bad. I just, you know what? I'm going to be bouncing around because there's a lot of BS that they're spewing in this article. And January 6th always pisses me off because I was there and I remember it. And it was not what they're saying it was. Now, there's an interview with Philip Anderson. He's been on my show. He's fantastic. Shout out to Philip Anderson. If you don't know who he is, he's a patriot. He fights for freedom. He fights for freedom of speech. He's out there. He got his teeth punched in. He's been on my show. I actually had a fundraiser for him. But he had an interview with Taylor Hanson. And he's talking about how this woman, Roseanne Boylans, died because she was being beaten and smashed to death by police, Capitol Police. All right, this is what he's saying. All right, I wasn't there, I didn't see this. But there's other videos now showing that the protesters were there, and then the cops started throwing flashbangs, and then they started reacting to that. So it's like, now we're finding that they're instigating. Then we found out about the FBI that was also there instigating. It's like, there's too many discrepancies in the stories of it to be any sort of insurrection. That whole thing is absolutely bonkers. So going back to Tim, he was right. It was nothing. What do you think they're going to do? It's so stupid. He's right. They weren't doing anything. They weren't going to do anything. In fact, I was pissed that they even went into the Capitol building because they ruined the evidence coming to light. They were trying to bring evidence, and they needed to stop the evidence from going. Who planted those pipe bombs? You know, all of Capitol Hill was evacuated because of the pipe bombs. It had nothing to do with the Trump supporters trying to start an insurrection. That's BS. Then, of course, 2 days later, a mob stormed the Capitol, whipped into a frenzy by nonsensical claims of a stolen election, and determined to put a stop to the constitutional transfer of power. Oh my gosh, whipped into a frenzy. I was in that crowd. Nobody was frothing at the mouth, okay? Everyone was standing like going hand in hand with their fellow patriots with flags. I have a video of them passing a giant flag over me. You know, I helped carry it over. It was awesome. It was a massive flag, and they were just passing it around. It was awesome. These people weren't freaking out. Sure, they were angry because, and we're going to talk about this in a little while, because the audits, all right, I'm going to talk about that later, but I want to bring up all the information that I know about the audits, but you'll see it when I get into the subject of it. My goodness. So obviously the countless hours hyping the blinkering legal strategies and half-baked fantasies about voter fraud animating the online right. At the same time, in each video, Poole tries to separate himself from the hardcore conspiracy theorists. After all, he was just commenting on the news. Yeah, he's a milquetoast fence sitter. That's why he has that moniker, right? Because here's this stuff that's going on, but I'm going to stay center and give you the other side of it and also debunk it if I can, and also remain relatively impartial. It frustrated me because I'm not like that at all. I take a stance, I see what I see, and I take a firm, that's just, we're different, in that sense. And that's part of the reason why the Timcast show with me on it was, I thought, worked really well, because I took a stance, and he had to maintain that center ground that he stays on. And that's difficult. That's a difficult thing to do. Sure, he has his bias, right? Everyone is biased. But they're trying to make it seem that he's, I don't know, some secret alt-right extremist trying to whip up these people into a frenzy. I mean, we've had arguments, actually, about civil war. Civil war's coming, and I'm like, no, it's not coming. And honestly, I don't think civil war is coming. I think it's much bigger. I think it's a significantly worse problem. I think China is trying to take over the planet. I mean, that's just me. I think they're trying to undermine America through money and manipulation. They spent millions and millions of dollars in our media over the past just 6 months prior to the election. And that's what I know of then. Like, who knows how much money China has spent on our politicians, the scientists, the Hollywood, advertising, the media. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm sure it's a ridiculous amount. My goodness. What Poole kept secret from his younger, overwhelmingly male, decidedly right-leaning audience during this time is that he seemed to have a pretty good idea what might happen during January 6th. Dude, I've had messages from people saying they've already got plans to rush to DC as soon as November 3rd goes chaotic. Poole said in early September during a recorded conversation reviewed by Daily Beast. I know who did that. I know who recorded that. That was Rocco. All right, someone that worked for Tim. The dude's crazy. He tried saying that I was running some sort of Chinese botnet in Arizona. All right, this guy is off the rocker. All right, his name's Rocco. He's gone cuckoo, this dude. All right, if you don't know him, He used to work for Vice. That's how Tim knew him. He tried hiring him for the whole Subverse thing, which I'm going to get into in a little bit because they go over that whole debacle, which is super frustrating. How Rocco basically and Emily, these two people that worked for Tim or worked with Tim, I'm not exactly sure those details, but I know that they dragged him through the mud on the internet with no evidence at all. I guess they were on the Timcast show and tried to get Tim to incriminate himself, but there was no evidence. It was all BS. But that's what this is from. They're like, we knew Tim had evidence of something happening on the after November 3rd. And it's like, no, he was talking about people that have actually said online that you can reference that they're going to freak out. And guess what? They didn't do anything. Going back to what Tim had just said, what do they think they're going to do? It's stupid. Nothing. They're going to do nothing. Gosh, it's so stupid. Then, of course, he adds the right-wing militias, the Oath Keepers, the Three Percenters, and just the Proud Boys and Trump supporters. They're going to rush full speed to D.C., and they're going to take the White House and do whatever they can in paramilitary. Poole made these comments to then colleagues at the media company he started. The following month, Poole used his YouTube platform to say the Oath Keepers had been unjustly smeared by the Southern Poverty Law Center. He habitually comes to the defense of the Proud Boys as well. No, he doesn't. The media smears them just as much as they did Trump, just as much as this person is doing for Tim. That's what he was defending. He was, it's like when people who don't like Trump, which they exist, these people exist that they say, oh, don't make me defend Trump. Please, don't make me defend Trump. There's a bunch of people out there that don't like Trump that still will defend him because they know the truths of what was going on and the fact the media lied so hardcore about it. They're like, I can't let you be spreading this lie. I don't even like Trump and you're spreading lies. Now, personally, I like Trump, but, whether or not Tim liked Trump, I mean, that's another story, but he's not defending the Proud Boys for what they do. He's defending the fact that the media was lying about them. In fact, they even, you can click this link here, where he's talking about, where he says comes to the defense. You click it, and it's just a YouTube of him saying the media is basically lying about the Proud Boys. And he actually had the leader of the Proud Boys on the show to talk about it. So he wasn't even defending the Proud Boys. He was critiquing the media lying about it. See, this is what they do. They smear it. They say, oh, see, he's defending the Proud Boys, so he must be some sort of alt-right person, which is just bonkers. Gosh. And then they say, this glaring omission was not out of character for Poole. Far from it. A former digital media journalist who originally built up his name with the on-ground reporting and live streaming, including stints at Vice and Fusion, Poole now postures as a rational centrist or disaffected liberal who grew to loathe the excesses of the left. Okay, that's pretty accurate. It's true. That does sum him up. They're trying to make it so that's not true because that's pretty accurate. If you buy Poole's branding, he stands in contrast to the bulk of his journalistic peers. Evil liars, he says, who've supposedly capitulated to the agendas of Black Lives Matter, Antifa, Democrats, big tech companies, feminists, and the like. I don't know why they throw feminists in there. I feel like they're just trying to add to it. But yeah, okay, maybe that's true too, actually. Yeah. He is in contrast to a lot of those because as he portrayed the excesses of the left. Okay, here's the center line. They used to be here and the right is here, very close to the center line, right? The left is now over there somewhere. I can't even see it because if they look over here, everybody is on the right. And that's what this is doing. They're saying, whoa, Tim is definitely on the right. No, you're just so far left. You can't see anybody. That's what we're seeing. Gosh, this article is so long and it is insane. This self-generated mythology of anti-authoritarian truth teller whose successes stem from confronting the machine, as Poole puts it, bears little resemblance to reality. I mean, have you watched his show? Yes, this guy goes a little crazy sometimes. Yes, he rants a lot, okay? I would listen to him ranting while I was in the kitchen, like trying to be quiet, because when we were in Jersey, that place was tiny. You couldn't make a sound without everyone hearing it in the house. It sucked. 2020 was really, how do I put it, claustrophobic, because we were all stuck together in that small house. It sucked. That's all I'm going to say on that subject, but I could hear him ranting, all right? And he really does free flow rant about whatever the subject matter is. And I know I could hear what he's talking about. And I've had many, many, many conversations on camera and off camera with Tim about what's going on. And he's pretty astute about what's happening. Granted, we have different opinions on it, and that's fine. People can have differing opinions, but he tends to be factually accurate a lot. Okay? It's the opinions on it I tend to differ, but you can't fault him on his accuracy on what's actually going on. Who people are, what they're doing, what they've done, the bills that have been passed, the policies that they believe in. I mean, dude knows what he's doing, all right? He's a good pundit. Oh gosh, so it continues. I mean, this is such a long article. Contrary to the overall manner in which Poole portrays himself, he was not an intrepid field reporter and streamer who barreled into conflict zones filled with an unshakable desire to ferret out a real story. I was standing next to him. We were wearing bulletproof vests in the middle of Baltimore riots, watching tear gas canisters shot over our heads, all right, to get the story. I was with him on the ground. I've seen it, okay? This is ridiculous. Okay, they go into Ferguson, how he was there. They go into Occupy Wall Street, how he was there, that he flew to Sweden. Okay, some of the stories don't add up exactly. But to say that he isn't a field reporter who's trying to get the story is ridiculous. Because I was there with him. We went down to Baltimore with buildings on fire all around us, watching the stuff go down. I was filming him for Fusion. All right, this is when he was working for Fusion, doing work for them. And oh man, does Vice throw him under the ringer? Does Fusion throw him under the bus? These people didn't get along with Poole because he wanted to do the real stories. He wanted to go, here's what's going on, this is what's happening. And they go, no, we can't do that. You have to do what the audience wants. We got to cater to the audience. And Tim didn't want to do that. They go over it here. But it's so frustrating to see that, like, he didn't want to go into the stuff. Okay, sure. Tim doesn't go out and do reporting anymore. But guess what? He doesn't have to. All right? He's perfectly capable now of covering the news because he's got a data bank of the past 5, 6, 7 years of doing this to know what's going on, to have references to bring up. Hey, this person's saying this. Well, back in 2018, they said this and said the exact opposite. All right? He's very good at that. And the more I do the show, the easier that becomes for me. I get it. Being in his kind of position isn't easy to do, and he does it very well. But to say that he wasn't that person to go out and get the story is absolutely bonkers. Because I was firsthand, saw him. I was there with him in the middle of Baltimore burning down. It was crazy. And he was doing it all the time. He flew to Sweden to go check out the immigrant issues, which Trump was saying that, like, there was some, the Swedish government was like, what is this? This is crazy. This is actually happening. And he said that he was being escorted away. And actually, there's the police report from Sweden say that they didn't escort anybody. They didn't have any reports on that. but they remembered the situation and said that they remembered him being there. So it's like some of this article actually tends to call Tim out a little bit. Okay, this guy was so latched onto this Tim saying he was a manager at a nonprofit. Okay, he was like, I'm a manager at a nonprofit, and I don't know if this is true. I want to find out if Tim actually did this. And it turns out Tim managed like the fundraising, like canvassing in the street. So he wasn't wrong, but the guy's saying that he was embellishing, which made me not trust Tim Pool anymore. And it's like, okay, but he wasn't wrong. You're just now saying you're playing a semantic game. I mean, and that's what the media does. It's all this big, huge semantic game. And it's like, shut up with the semantics. Okay, it's tit for tat. You're saying, okay, sure, back in 2007, Tim did like work for a nonprofit and claimed he was a manager for the canvassing team. But you call them, there's no record of it, so you can't actually prove it. Oh, Tim Pool. He's now an alt-right. God, this person goes into... Let me just show you how long this article is. So this is just... Seriously, I mean, I don't even know how I'm going to be able to go through this entire article. I can't. It's literally Tim's entire career. Starting from before Occupy Wall Street, all the way until now. I mean, it is insane. This guy, Robert Silverman, goes through everything. I mean, I can't even... So I met Tim when he was working at Vice, right? And he was living in New York. He actually became my neighbor. And we were playing Magic the Gathering all the time. It was actually pretty legit. It was cool because he would come over and he would complain about what he was dealing with at Vice. About how these people... I'm actually at the Vice spot here. And so they're talking about... At this moment, they're talking about Ferguson. And Tim was working for Vice during Ferguson. And so Ferguson, he was shot at. I don't know if you know this about Tim's stories. But he remembers being... The way he tells me, all right, the story and has talked about it. He was trying to get into the areas where, the story was... and heard gunshots and got down and just got out of there and then wanted to leave because he didn't want to get shot. That's pretty smart thinking, actually. Excuse me. I've been shot at. I don't want to be shot. It's not a pleasant feeling, all right, to know that bullets are heading in your direction. All right? I don't know if they just heard the bullets. It's like supposedly they were near him, and he got out of there. And I don't blame him, right? He should have gotten out of there. But they're trying to make it seem that it was like, actually it was the camera person who was trying to get in there, not Pool. And they don't give an exact name of who their source is. From Vice. Rocco worked at Vice. Rocco's trying to bring Tim down. Rocco is their informant. Rocco's the guy who tried to sue Tim. He might still be suing Tim right now. This guy has been blasting Tim on the internet for months and months. He tried bringing me into it, saying I was running some sort of bot farm in China or in Arizona, like a Chinese botnet something, to try to fluff the Timcast numbers. Let me tell you, Rocco, those numbers were real and legit. People were watching me and Tim argue, and it was glorious. Okay? That was real. That wasn't fluffed up. Tim wasn't doing any sort of manipulation. All right? He's good at understanding the algorithms on YouTube. I'll give him that. All right? He's good at that. He understands how to how YouTube's algorithms work and uses it to his favor. That's smart. That's smart. That's using your knowledge to further your career. Good for Tim. All right? But when they're telling me that they have inside information from Vice that says Tim Pool was terrible, okay, I know Tim was getting into it and was on the ground and doing work, I was there with him. He would come home and tell me about the stuff that he was doing. Like, he was my neighbor, so we hung out often. This is before that he started working for Fusion, and I moved down to Miami with him to try to do a show. And sure enough, they start talking about Fusion now. About how, let's see, in late 2014, Fusion sent Poole back to Ferguson, like the Vice staffers before them. And he starts talking about how he would check his phone regularly, obsessed with his social media metrics. That's actually probably true. Tim is obsessed with numbers. That's his whole job, is understanding numbers and how to work the system. Some may call it a grift, but as I said, he's good at his job, right? His opinions I don't agree with all the time, all right? But his accuracy of the news that he brings forward is accurate. Look, you don't have to agree with his opinions. I don't all the time, all right? I mean, I don't really watch his stuff anymore. I never really watched his stuff. Before I moved there, I would check out his videos sometimes if I was interested in a subject and wanted to know more about it. But I would just go ask him and have a conversation about certain things. I wouldn't like watch his video. I knew he made a video on it, but I'd rather just have a chat and bounce back and forth. But this Fusion thing is ridiculous because they start again knocking him and saying Tim Poole was a terrible employee, this and that. When Tim talks about how they put on golden handcuffs, he was contractually obligated to do whatever they wanted him to do. I was in that office. I actually went down before I moved to Miami, and I met with the CEO of Fusion with Tim. We were in a board room talking about this and that, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll get you, we'll do the show. We're very interested. We'll get back to you. Months went by. I was in Miami. I moved there, right? Months went by. Nothing happened. I'm like, Tim, what, are they going to do it? And he's like, I keep asking. I'm not even doing anything. I want to go do this. They're like, yeah, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. And they're talking about in this article that Fusion was hemorrhaging money. They were losing money left and right. They got all this money from Disney. Who else did they get money from? Univision and Disney basically bought and made Fusion. Yeah, and they were like, yeah, let's get all these awesome people. And then they were like realizing, oh man, we are out of money. And basically, because Tim had a contract with them, he had to live it out. But he was trying to do stuff. I was trying to do stuff with him. And they kept giving him this, come back in a couple months. Maybe when we'll try to find some money with it. But they were clearly dealing with it. And they were talking about the fact that they were hemorrhaging money in this article, but they claim that Tim wasn't doing anything. And then say, oh, but Tim lies about having golden handcuffs on. He literally did. I was living with him at the time. All right? I was at the Fusion office and it was empty. But it was this massive, huge building with studios everywhere, and literally nothing happened in these studios. So, God, these people are getting it so backwards. Man, we're gonna go back to the article. There's so much of this stuff. So when he ends this. I mean, they were talking about Occupy Wall Street, and so before they started talking about Vice, he was at Occupy Wall Street. This is how he got the job at Vice. And he goes, Tim said he's not a journalist, he's an activist. And then says he says he's not an activist at all. Going back and forth, and it's like, if you go into it, right? Here's one of their sources. Tim says, I don't consider myself a journalist. I mean, people can say I am whatever I am. If that's what I am, I consider myself an activist 100%. And he goes, ha, see, he's an activist, not a journalist. He even says he's not a journalist. And then later on, in this other article, he goes, some people call what he does citizen journalism. He would rather call it independent journalism. And then he says, I'm not an activist. Now, in the article, they leave out the rest of the sentence. See, he says he's an activist, and then he says he's not an activist. We got him in a lie. But in this same exact like, this is what their source was. He says, if anything, I'm an information activist. And that is accurate to what Tim is. He is an activist for information. Yes, he's opinionated. No, you don't have to agree with his opinion, but he is an information activist. He wants the information to get out there, all right? And he's good at that. These people are clearly jealous. Oh man, I'm going to get into the Young Turks in a second because, ooh, did they make fools of themselves talking about Tim Pool. Ooh. All right, so now they're starting talking about more recently, all right, the years after Fusion, when Tim started to build his own empire, which it does feel like he's kind of built his own empire. Some call it a cult, some call it whatever you will. I'm grateful to be out of that situation. That's all I'm going to say from my standpoint on that. But you can't deny Tim has built up an empire. He has built up an incredible... here, as a member of the YouTube's partner program, Pool was handsomely rewarded. In August of 2020 alone, Pool ranked in 600,000 as he boasted during the recorded September conversation. I wonder why August was a record month. There's an article someone posted about a decline in Tim Pool numbers. Like, oh, Tim loses money because of the election, but all of the numbers dropped off after August. Almost like there was a big, huge shift in his... I'm just poking fun at Tim. Look, people get upset with me when I poke fun at Tim. Look, I'm allowed to poke fun at Tim. I'm more allowed to poke fun at Tim than all of you, than this guy, than most people, because I've been his roommate. I've been his friend. We've gotten arguments. We've gotten past arguments. We've gotten to the point where I can make fun of him. All right, if you don't like it, you can deal with it. And I don't care, because I'm going to critique literally everyone. Everyone should be critiqued. I should be critiqued. Critique me. That's fine. But when I critique Tim, don't be like, well, he gave you a platform. Yeah, I'm super grateful for that. Duh. Of course I wouldn't have this amazing platform if it wasn't for Tim. Yes, of course. I'm super grateful. But does that mean I'm not allowed to criticize him anymore? No. Get out of here. Here I am defending him. But this article does criticize Tim sometimes accurately. I don't want to get into that side of it because whatever. All right, I'm not here to knock Tim. I'm here to be like, the media is trying to destroy Tim, and it's terrible. And we cannot let it happen, because Alex Jones being banned should never have happened. All of the conservatives that have been banned off of every platform over the past year, it should never have happened. You guys have seen Savannah Hernandez on my show. She got banned from Twitter for posting live videos, not even commenting on it, just simply stating, this is happening right in front of my face right now. I'm posting it and being shared. Well, she had the luck, I would say, of being retweeted by the president of the United States, Donald Trump, and they banned her because they needed her video that was being shared that ruined their narrative, that proved Trump, one of his points, correct. They had to get rid of her. Well, they can't ban Trump. Well, they did ban Trump, but at the time they couldn't ban him. It's ridiculous. Look, Tim, say what you will about Tim. He's good at his job, and the internet needs him. Okay? I agree. I believe it wholeheartedly that the world is a better place with Tim Pool in it. I said it. That's fine. Take it to the bank. He does his job, and he does it well. He offers a solid viewpoint on literally everything that's happening. All right? Not a lot of people are out there doing that. I cover a couple segments every night. I try to do some news, I try to do some science, but he is out there doing all of the important stuff, the political stuff. And because of his backlog of all the different information, he's good at what he's doing. But man, I gotta address the whole cat kidnapping thing. Okay, so for those who don't know, there was this article about how Tim kidnapped a cat. All right. Now I was living there. All right. I lived there. I know exactly the situation. I know exactly what was going on. And I can tell you right now, that whole story, pardon my French, is bullshit. Okay? The cat's name was Betsy. She was kind of a freak, but kind of a sweet cat. I mean a freak because like some cats are just really weird. This was one of those weird cats, but she was very sweet when she got to know you. Tim was cat sitting for Emily. You know, the girl that was with Rocco that's trying to sue Tim. The girl that went crazy with Rocco, who also went crazy to try to like basically slander Tim and make it seem like he's some sort of crazy person, going about illegal means to manipulate the internet, which he doesn't do. All right? That's not him. He's a legitimate YouTuber and does it well. So well, he's created an empire, which is good for him. Good for him. But Emily was working at Subverse, which was the name of a company that Tim crowdfunded over $1 million to start. A news network that he was going to build. His own Vice, basically. Now it's called Scanner for a whole nother reason. I don't even think it's a company anymore. Either way, Emily was out doing stuff and she was letting her cat stay with Tim because she actually lived with Tim in New Jersey. So when they started Subverse and really started getting it going, she would actually travel around and leave Tim. In fact, her own Instagram. Here, this is from Emily's Instagram from her cat. They have the best cat sitter. She's talking about Tim. That's Tim's computer. That might be Tim sitting there right now. This is the original Timcast IRL studio with This Is Betsy, and she's sitting in front of Tim, and that's Emily saying she has the best cat sitter. It's still online. You can see this. This is a public Instagram account that you can go look at. It's Emily saying she has the best cat sitter. Somehow they manipulated the media to say that Tim kidnapped a cat. It's lies. Okay? It's all them trying to slander Tim. And this Daily Beast, of course, has a big, huge segment on the cat kidnapping thing, which is ridiculous. Tim did her a favor. Tim took that cat in and treated that cat so well. All right? She was loved. I mean, she got cuddles from me. There was another cat. I call him Boku. They call him Bucko. Boku-san. Anyway, there was two cats. Both are Emily's. Now she just took this one back. Or I would say had someone come and get her, because the whole time that this was going on with the cat thing, they were suing Tim and they were calling the FBI on Tim, trying to say like he was doing some illegal things. And I mean, man, it got super messy to the point where Tim was like, you're not allowed in my house anymore. In fact, if you want your cat. So on January 6th, they were in DC. And he said, look, I know you're in DC. Come get your cat. Get your cat out of here. You're not welcome in my house anymore. You have the next 2 days to come and get your cat. Call me before you come. Please take your cat away. I don't want your cat here anymore because, you're going crazy and trying to sue me and slander me online. She never came by to get her cat. She had every opportune moment to get her cat. She didn't. All right. Then she went on this internet spree to bash Tim, saying, oh, he's stolen my cat. He's kidnapped. He's not letting me get my cat. Yes, he was. You had every chance to go get your cat, Emily. You didn't go get your cat. That's on you. And then I think she basically, that's a grift. Grifting off of fake lies to get people to support you. I'm sure she got support from people. Some dude flew to Maryland to pick up the cat and flew the cat out to wherever she was at. I don't know where, California maybe. I don't know. Fitting that she's in California. If she is, I don't know. I just feel like she would be in California. Maybe I'm just jumping this. So anyway, the whole cat story, lies. All right, Betsy lived a good life. She loved it. After 3 months on the road, this legit makes me emotional. Best cat, hashtag best cat sitter ever. Again, look, here's Boku and Betsy. She's posting nonstop about how they're the best cat sitter ever. She's talking about Tim, because Tim was taking care of the cat. All right, now I want to talk about the Young Turks now. So they had this is the Young Turks exposed how Tim Pool radicalized YouTube, and they actually had the guy on. What's his name? I don't remember his name. Robert Silverman. So they actually had him on the show, and we're talking about it. Now they basically do like a spoken conversation about the article that he wrote. But man, the Young Turks sank. Is it Sank? Shank? I don't know how to say his name. Whatever. Sank. The main guy. He was likening Tim to Trump, saying that, oh, this is how Trump got started. So basically calling that the way he portrayed Trump was like a cult leader. So basically he was trying to convince like his audience that Tim was like some sort of cult leader, and doing this online alt-right cult to get people to radicalize, talking about civil war. And it's like, oh man, it is so embarrassing watching them talk about it, talking about how, what is it? It's chunk yogurt. I feel like a bunch of people are trying to, someone says, I think it's pronounced douche. Sank, whatever his name is. Hilarious. I'm sure everyone's got their own version of how to say it. But man, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much jealousy these people have. Why? Because he's good at what he does. All right? And he gets more numbers than you. He gets more numbers than you. Ha 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 ha. Sucks for you. These people are ridiculous. And then look, some of the, I gotta say, some of the things that Tim has said in the past, I think are ridiculous. In fact, you can go watch him and I argue on the countless episodes that we were live together. We argued a lot. He would tell me I was wrong all the time, in which case I would laugh and say, I don't care. It's my opinion. It's what I think. Okay? I didn't always think Tim was right, but I respect the fact that he knows what he's talking about, the facts that he brings forward. His opinions, anyone can have a differing opinion. His opinions are biased, but not his facts and not his show. All right, I hear that he's going to have Charlie Kirk and Vaush discuss critical race theory on the Timcast IRL show tonight. That's amazing. That's cool that someone like that is able to bring those two together to argue. Like, that's going to be incredible. I can't wait. And, it's like, thanks to Tim for having that kind of stuff. He had Lily Tang Williams on a show. She was on my show the other day. I'm so grateful that they heard about her. Maybe it was because of my show. Maybe because of whatever reason. They're getting good conversations out there still. So good. So good for Tim for building up his life, his show. He can live in a mansion in the middle of the woods with skate ramps. Yeah, you jealous? Work as hard as Tim does and you can have it. I don't know anyone. I've never met anyone who works as hard as Tim Pool does. No joke. I lived with him. That dude lived and breathed work. He was always thinking about work, always thinking about what to do next. That's all he lives and breathes. That's it. Guarantee these people don't. These people are all about, clout, chasing clout, calling Tim out for whatever you want to call him out. Look, agree with Tim or not, the dude knows what he's doing. and gave me a platform. So I'm grateful for Tim. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you, man. And I know you don't give too you don't give any credence to this kind of stuff. I know you don't. So you got nothing to worry about. But I felt like I needed to say everything and give you guys a little bit of an inside scoop to some of the things that are going on with these attacks. All right, so I'm going to move on because I want to talk about this absolutely insane Department of Justice order. Okay, this is from Biden. I couldn't believe that I read this. I still don't almost believe it. Check this out. Biden Department of Justice orders states not to conduct Arizona-style forensic audits of the 2020 election. Threatens prison time. Those who conduct forensic audit are racists, suggests the Biden DoJ, and may be in prison for up to a year. In a document, the Biden regime Department of Justice is calling guidance. The agency repeats the often mocked declaration that the November 3rd election was the most secure in American history. This and chastises supporters of election integrity for demanding an unusual second round of examinations in states with reported widespread voter fraud. The agency then suggests that these audits could violate the Civil Rights Act of 1960. Quote, there are federal or criminal penalties attached, the Department of Justice asserts. They claim that those who arrange forensic audits of the 2020 election can face fines of up to $1,000 and imprisonment to up to a year for each violation. Then, their intimidating document suggests that these audits represent intimidation. Oh, that's intimidation, huh? The audits? The Attorney General is authorized to file a civil action seeking preventative relief against those who organize election audits. The guidance explains. Judicial decisions have established that voter intimidation need not involve physical threats. The guidance continues. Arizona Representative Mark Fincham, who is now running for Arizona Secretary of State to replace the radical left-wing Katie Hobbs, recently warned Biden administration Attorney General Merrick Garland against sending enforcers to the state of Arizona. I got news for Merrick Garland. There's this little thing called the Constitution, says Fincham. Article 1, Section 4. The times, places, and manner of holding election for senators and representatives. It is the legislator that has responsibility for nominating the naming of electors for president. Fincham added, I would advise Merrick Garland and his team of thugs that now occupy the Department of Justice tread very lightly. Our Attorney General, I spoke with their representative this morning. I'm not going to put him on the hook for anything, but you're going to walk into a very surprising reception if you try to do anything in this state that interferes with legislative authority in handling our elections. Hard stop. After the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors refused to cooperate with the latest round of subpoenas that would have allowed Arizona audit to finally be completed, Arizona Senator Wendy Rogers suggested the officials be arrested and held in solitary confinement. I vote to arrest, quote, this is a quote, I vote to arrest and put them in solitary, she continued, furthering wondering if there were enough solitary confinement cells available in Arizona. We are going to need a lot. In fact, she then posted this letter from Dominion Voting. And let me just read this letter from you. She goes, this is a response letter from Dominion. Corporations are not above the law. More to follow. Listen to this letter. All right. Dear Mr. Langhofer, I am responding on behalf of Dominion Voting Systems to a July 23rd, 2021 letter from Senate President Karen Fann purporting to issue a public records request to Dominion under Arizona public records laws. Dominion is not a public officer or public body and therefore has no obligation to make its records available for public inspection. Interesting. Relatedly, Dominion's Privately owned security keys and confidential passwords are not public records, subject to disclosure under the law. And then they continue, because the law has no application, Dominion will not produce or allow inspection of the materials requested in Senator Fan's July 23rd letter. Dominion's basically going, Maricopa County Board is basically going, yeah, we're not going to subpoena you. Just, good luck. Twitter suspended the official audit war room, and the Maricopa, Arizona audit had almost 100,000 followers. Why? This was July 27th. Now we're into August, but now they're saying, hey, look, if you look into this, if you start auditing, it's racist, and we're going to come after you and jail you. And then they're saying the audits are intimidation? The audits are intimidation? No, the audits are to prove whether or not it happened or not. What's the harm in that? Now you're threatening to arrest people, throw them in jail for wanting audits. If we didn't see a red flag before, what are we waiting for? Okay, how many red flags do we need? This is ridiculous. I mean, I can't believe it. I'm in shock because of how ridiculously obvious it is. He's ordering the Department of Justice to arrest people who want to audit in their state. Really? I mean, I'm speechless. I can't believe it. I'm with Wendy Rogers, man. These people need to go to trial. It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna get into some super chats. Wow, thank you for all the likes, everybody, and welcome. Good to see a lot of people here. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please share my videos. It really does help my channel grow. Obviously, I'm not working with Tim anymore. I am branching out on my own. I actually have my own house now. I moved in over the weekend. It's been fantastic. I got a beautiful garden. I love my house. It's beautiful. Time to start having some kids. I'm very excited about that. So, yeah, let's get into some super chats. I have a feeling YouTube may have deleted a couple. Let me just double check so as to not lose any of those. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a great week so far. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Just catching up to where I was. Here we go. Robert Wiles says, you have a blessed soul, Adam. Have a blessed day and blessed life doing what you love. And thanks for all you do for us and chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Robert Shaw says, have a blessing. May the light warm your soul, and F Blizzos, and all hail Elon. End the lockdowns. Redacted Biden. Redacted Cuomo. Oh, man, Cuomo. I'm going to talk about him tomorrow. Oof. Oh, do I have a lot to say about Christopher Cuomo. Man, that dude needs to be arrested. He needs to go to trial and have all the evidence. I mean, there's so many different things dude needs to be arrested for. All right, and I'm going to talk about it tomorrow because it's ridiculous. F the Young Turks. The history of that name is redacted. Yeah, they really should. Really should change their name. I agree. Robert Shaw says, F Daily Beast. How dare they ruin the Lord's name? Okay. Robert Shaw says, Cuomo redacted women bad, killing old people good. Oh, yes. I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow. You best believe it. Robert Shaw says, Tim had Lily on yesterday. She's fire. He was quiet. Oh, man. If anyone's going to keep talking and not allow Tim to talk, it's going to be Lily Tang Williams. That woman has a passion. And if you don't know who she is, please go watch my interview with her. She is incredibly fired up about saving America. She's awesome. Robert Shaw says, what happened between you and Tim? I joke. Funny. That's good. Robert Shaw says, only DB I like is Dragon Ball. Okay. Cassium says, all my music is on YouTube now, Adam. Stream Talk About It. A best rapper you haven't heard of, I promise. Okay, I'll check it out. Robert Wiles said, Adam, you're always there for us. You have a blessed soul. I hope you know my niece is happy. She gets to have her Crigler coffee waffles again. Yeah, I saw your waffle maker. That's great. I did just see that before I went live. Robert Shaw says, Tim may be bald, but his information is solid. That's funny. Jason Dixon says, I want to send you stuff. P.O. Box, please, sir. I know it's due time. I got a lot on my plate, all right? I will do it. Sword Logic says, hey, man, I have a few Canuck bucks. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Superfan says, interview horror writer Brian Keene for something new. That sounds fun, actually. How would I get a hold of him? I'll look him up. Sure. Why not? That sounds fun. Scott says, everything happens for a reason, Adam. I don't believe you'd be where you are now if you were still on his show. I'm here for you every day. Thank you. Well, thank you, Scott. That's very nice of you. And I mean, I agree. I love where I'm at. I don't regret. Regret is a wasted emotion because you can't change things. Learn. Don't regret, learn. But thank you. I appreciate you being there for me. Robert Shaw says, how far left until the fence is far right? I mean, that's basically, right? Matthew Hammond says, if Tim read YouTube comments, he would have seen the warnings about Emily, Molly, and Rocco when they were on Timcast IRL. I didn't see that show, but Tim told me about it, how they were basically trying to bait him into admitting something that wasn't a thing, you know? And Tim's not an idiot, you know? Rob says, respect for Adam went up immensely. He's a true bro and a good human. Well, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. Mr. Paul R says, new digs in the background. They adjust jealous of Tim's success. Let them eat gruel. I know. Honestly, that's really what it felt like. They were just jealous. The guy who wrote it was really pissed off that Tim is so successful that, you know, he should be as successful. It's like, well, you don't work as hard as Tim. Or else, hey, you might be as successful as Tim. All right? Tim works his butt off for what he has. All right? And he's earned it. So if you got something to say, you're just jealous. This is the new digs. I mean, I'm going to build an official studio. My stuff gets here in about 2 weeks. So Will says, how the holy heck did you get Super Chats activated? I don't know. I got a lot of awesome people that watch me that gave me the watch hours to monetize my account. What kind of question is such an odd question? Sectus says, is it finally time? There's 17 rolls for 69. 17. Sectus, it's not time yet. I'm sorry, but that's amazing. Austin says, the Daily Beast is slandering Tim, an Asian man. Hashtag stop Asian hate. Yeah, right? Pfft, how dare you, Daily Beast. Racist. Euro says, would what they're doing count as defamation? Maybe. There is something to do about public figures. And I think Tim is now a public figure. So people can, I don't know, there's a line you can cross. Like Sandman wasn't a public figure, so he was defamed by the media. Whereas this is like, Tim is a notable public figure. So I'm not sure how it works. I think there is some sort of protections there. Francisco says, Adam, get Alex Jones on. Love you and the Crigler chat. Thank you, Francisco. I mean, man, I would love to have Alex Jones on. That dude is awesome. He's very nice. I met him. He was very cool. He was a little drunk at the time, but he was very nice. Potato says, hey man, the Young Turks did a piece on Tim Pool last night as well, alleging that he radicalized YouTube. He's being targeted, man, and it'll come up fast. I saw it and I talked about it. Yeah, that one's as equally as embarrassing for these people. But the people that watch that show are in echo chambers. They want to hear that. They want to be reaffirmed that Tim is some sort of alt-right agitator. I mean, I didn't even get into the meat of that article. It's crazy. And I should honestly just post. If you guys want to see this article, I'll just post it in chat. That's the article right there. You can go check it out if you guys want to. Let's see here. Joe Biden's denture says Rocco and Emily are backstabbers. There's nothing worse. Their envy and jealousy is palpable. Yes, I know. Exactly. It's, man, it's crazy. They really did try to ruin Tim, and it didn't work. They're basically just making themselves crazy and making themselves look crazy. Like, if you watched Rocco and Emily, I had to block both of them because Rocco started saying some terrible things about me, that I was some rumors about me being some Chinese agent. It's like, dude, you're crazy. Get off my page. Montana Horseman says, you've always treated the friendship/work relation with Tim in an honorable way. Your defense of him tonight is also honorable. You're a good man, Adam. Well, thank you, Montana Horseman. I appreciate that. Yeah. That's, yeah, I don't normally want to talk about Tim because, like, you know, I'm not in his life anymore. I don't work with him anymore. People try to, like, compare us, and it's like, dude, we're not the same people. But when I see this kind of stuff, I gotta talk about it. Will says, I've followed him before he blew up. He has certain perspectives that rub many people the wrong way. One of my personal issues with him is his stance on business rights over individual rights. Yeah, exactly. Like, everyone has different opinions. You don't have to agree with all of his opinions, you know, but you got to admit he's knowledgeable. Bomb Glub says, sup fool. Sup fool. Rob Shaw says, Timcast IRL with Adam could have taken the Joe Rogan experience spot. Thank you. That's huge. I appreciate that. That's amazing. Rob, and I think so. I think you were right. We had a really good dynamic back and forth. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, the Young Turks are a bunch of hacks. All they do is crap on anyone who goes against their narrative. Yeah, basically. Robert Shaw says, the Young Turks are not even worth the effort. They got destroyed by Jimmy Dore. They support endless wars and bombing Middle East. It's funny how insane they are. Yeah, the Young Turks, man. I don't even know who watches them anymore. Bomb again says, shave your neck beard, soy boy. That's my critique. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's growing a little bit, but no, neck beard's like this. I don't have a neck beard, but that's hilarious. Sejong says, Adam, you and Tim are over the target, which is why they need to attack, silence, socially mutilate, and otherwise attack you by any means necessary. Exactly. Mark G says, the world is a far better place with Adam Crigler in it. Oh, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Brandon says, your defense of Tim, when you could have come out with beef, keeps me watching when I can. Your integrity on not dragging personal beef into the public is commendable in the internet age. Keep it up. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I appreciate that. Sejong says, I lost my job today. I didn't get fired. My company told me my contract was not renewed. So they instantly got me a new task at a new contract. God is good, folks. I have a blessed life. Semi-charmed. Find the dice, Adam. I know I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a dice. I swear I have one somewhere. I'll try to find some. But, so wait, you didn't get fired. You lost your contract but got a new contract with them? So that's good, right? It sounds good. So I'm pretty hyped for you. Mr. Squiggle says, I thought that cat article was satire. That's messed up. Oh no, it was real. Emily really tried to convince the world that Tim stole her cat, which is absolutely bonkers. Jiri Vision says, just sending some peace and love out into the universe. Well, thank you very much. Mark G says, Sank is pronounced as greasy, sweaty liar. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, chunk yogurt. I'm going to use that to call Sank Uger. I love that. I saw chat absolutely blowing up over there. It was hilarious. Svensted says, the Young Turks, Cito as AF. I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to risk it. Sejong says, Chunky Uger, a.k.a. Comrade Alexei Joseph, leader of the ultra-progressive left-wing racist, anti-racist movement that you can't understand. Yeah. Aaron says Kirk and Vosh are both grifters on opposite sides. It won't be worth watching. Really? I would feel like it would be rather entertaining, but, I guess there's no telling. Mike says Kirk was never Trump. He was a never Trumper. He's a neocon that promotes Nikki Haley, Dan Crenshaw, and neocon Warhawks. I don't see that side of him. I see a lot of his Instagram videos where he's basically dunking on a bunch of young idiots. Sejong says, is Vosh on tonight? He's going to be the next one to go down after Chris Chan. Can't wait to find out what they string him up on Dirty Birds. Yeah, Vosh, when he went to Tim's house the first time, Nisha called me in the other room. She's like, yo, there's someone creeping in the backyard. And I'm like, what's going on? And I saw him casing the house by himself. Dude made me super uncomfortable. Nisha had a studio with just 3 glass walls in the back of the house. So he was just casing the place by himself before anyone even knew he was there. It was weird. All right. I don't trust the guy. I'm glad I'm not there anymore. Sejong says, I just got a super chat jump. Give me a sec. And don't pity my jobs chat. I'll likely be on site as early as Thursday. I'm going straight into work at the court office tomorrow. No loss. All right, good. I love that attitude, Sejong. Vanessa says, so I have previously equated your situation with Emily's. You have handled this situation in such a classy manner. You can dig on Tim, but you still support him despite everything. Tim didn't manage ending Scanner well. I don't know about the ending of Scanner. I really didn't pay attention to that very well or very closely because this was all going on after I was off the show and I was doing my own show. That kind of just took priority, and everything that Tim did was just on the back burner for me because I wasn't a part of it anymore. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sejong says, Joe, I am the Dem Party. Biden and Pelosi have called Cuomo to step down. News via front page of nationalfile.com. I know I've got a lot of stuff. I'm going to talk about Cuomo tomorrow because, I can't stand him. I've been calling for him to be put on trial for a long time because of the nursing home situation. Thousands of people got killed because he moved a bunch of sick patients into nursing homes with the most vulnerable, spiking the COVID deaths. Crazy. Dude needs to be held accountable for that. And I'm going to talk about it tomorrow because now he's under fire for... It's also terrible, all right? I don't want to say that one thing's worse. Killing thousands of people is pretty bad. And it seems like there's a bunch of sexual allegations that are now coming out. They have a 4-month-long investigation that has 70,000 pieces of evidence. It's crazy how much evidence they've got. So, I don't know. I think Cuomo's finally going down. Sejong says, oh my God, don't hump the air when you mention having kids. But I'm excited about it. What are you talking about? Kira, thank you for that super chat. Mark Robershaw says, reminding me again, which side said, if you have nothing to hide, then what's the problem? But the audit is no, nothing to see here. Right? Come on. Max says, Adam, I challenge you to say something negative about Trump. He was a womanizer and cheated on his wife. I didn't like that at all. He should have divorced her first. He cheated on his second wife as well. I don't like that. He's a womanizer. Challenge complete. What? Yeah, I don't glorify the man. He has his faults. Jason Dixon says, you need to get Unstoppable Morgan on the show. Yes, I do. Rex says, it's been great watching you, Adam. I knew for a while that you've been a person of good character, principled and determined. Keep up the great work, sir. Congratulations on the new home and 2B children. Thank you, Rex. I appreciate that. Very nice. DJ Ronnie says, when Rocco was on an episode of the IRL show, someone in chat observed that his eyes were extremely close to his face, and the person added, I don't trust that man's face. That's funny. Yeah. Paper City Gamer Jeff says, congrats on the new place. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Freddie, thank you for that super chat with a little lemon high five. Rob Shaw says, it's true. Tim worked so hard, his hair fell out. Yeah, maybe that's why. I don't know. Give me a second. Lancer says, hard bastard called Sank the baboon, and atheism is unstoppable called him a buffalo. Come back to Twitch. We miss you. Yours truly, Black Knight Leader. Hey, Black Knight. How you doing, mate? I do miss my Twitch community. I miss you guys on Twitch. I will be back on Twitch eventually. I don't have my main computer. This is my mobile setup, and I don't want to I don't want to think, nothing can happen to this computer while I'm waiting for my new studio and my other setup. So I just this is for my show for you guys here, Vanessa said, following up on the last super, I invested in Subverse. Rocco is insane. Emily has changed. Tim is still a narcissist, but a great journalist. No lies detected. Show says nothing, but thank you for that super chat. Serta became a member, and Little Debbie became a member. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate your membership. Normally I have a bell. In fact, I saw someone else become a member right at the beginning of the show, but YouTube deleted it, so I don't know who it was. But we have 3 new members. Thank you guys for becoming members. I really do appreciate your support. You guys are absolutely amazing. El Diablo Loco Poco says, just say it, Tim. I was right. I think I've actually said that to him live on the show. You might be able to find that somewhere. Robert Shaw says, Tim rolls natural 20 for invest by natural 1 for charisma. Oof. Mark Robershaw says, Vosh, Voosh, Douche. Which one is correct? Who knows? Serta says, whatever happened to the Hulk arms? Oh, I've got them. They're packed away, and I will have them soon. I just had a super chat jump. Give me a second. Evodio says, on a side note, Adam, your coffee is legit. I know, right? So good. It's been holding me together between work and school. Keep doing you, man. Thank you, Evodio. I wish you told me which brand was your favorite, or which blend was your favorite. Thank you very much. It is legit coffee. If you don't know about my coffee, you're missing out. I'm just going to say this. Coffee you buy at the store is roasted already. And you don't know how long it was sitting there. You don't even know when it was roasted. All of those coffee bags have a best buy date, not a roasted on date. My coffee is roasted when you order it. It has a roasted on date. So you know when it was roasted. So you know that the beans are still fresh and freshly roasted. Get some fresh roasted coffee. You'll thank me. I mean, even if it's not my coffee, try it. Try some fresh roasted coffee and you'll know the difference. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, I wonder if companies can escape the spotlight now that up to 9 women are speaking out. But alas, he's trying to do a Bill Clinton. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stick that cigar. Ooh, my mom is in chat saying, watch for Frode this week. Those who don't know, let me go to my Instagram. This is my Crigler Coffee Instagram. So we're going to be giving away a bag of coffee every month. Once a month, we're going to post an image. Where is he? Where's the mascot? There he is. This is Frode. So he is our new mascot. He's going to be traveling around different places. So we had a winner on our 200th episode, which was a couple weeks back now. And that winner chose Chernobyl. And so he's going to be traveling over to Chernobyl, and we're going to be posting the picture sometime this week. So you have to be following Crigler Coffee, all right? Following me, Adam Crigler, on Instagram. And all you got to do is post when you see it. And the first 20 people get entered into the rolling of the die, and I'm going to roll to see who actually wins. And you get to choose where he's going next and what kind of blend you want, because we're giving away coffee. So once a month, you get to check it out. My mom actually is drawing Frode. He's been doing it. She's in chat right now. She's the mod. Shout out to my mom. What's up? Love you, Mom. Death Clutch King says, keep it up, brother. Sorry I can't be here for all the live streams, but work and shite happens. I watch all streams, just not live. Shout out to Robert Wiles. Thank you, Death Clutch. Right on. Shout out to Robert. Yeah. Sejong again says, I had to pack all my stuff up today from my old site to get ready to move to my new task at the new site. Same company I'm working for. Contracts work like that. I made sure I packed my Crigler coffee. Nice. Thank you, Sejong. I appreciate you. And I'm glad to know that you're not out of a job. Mr. Brownstow says, you're a good dude, Adam. Crigler coffee for the win. Thank you very much. Max says, I actually started liking Vosh. I don't agree with him, but I thought he did a great job defending his ideas on Tim's show. Okay, all right. John L. says, I go away for a couple months and come back. All this change in Adamland. Congrats on the new digs, man. Good luck with the kiddos. My wife is dragging me back to California to spawn. Oof. Oof is right. The Hot Thought says, Kofifi blend is legit, earthy, and fruity with a great body. Also, I'm the farm engineer. Thanks for following my Twitter. Stay tuned for engineering homesteading. Oh, yes, I did just follow you. You know, you just posted on my picture about my backyard about homesteading, and I'm actually very interested in permaculture. Thank you for that huge super chat, by the way. $50. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And, I'm really excited. Let's chat. We PM me on or DM me on Twitter. Let's talk about it. I really am excited. I found out I have hazelnuts on my property now. Like a lot of hazelnuts, and also fields and fields of blueberries. Insane. So I'm really, really excited about it. So I'm all about permaculture. I really, really want to live off the land. I have the property to do exactly that. It's amazing. So I am excited to check out your engineered homesteading ideas. That's great. Let's talk about it. Maybe we can get you on the show and talk about it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Share my videos if you think it's worth it. Remember to smash that like button. Smash. And I will see you guys tomorrow here on The Crigler Show. Good night, everybody.